Hello YouTube, welcome back to my new video after 2 weeks after I promised I'd post more often. In today's video I want to talk about why you maybe should consider not buying boots anymore. But that's kind of a wild phrase because boots have been a core item on Teemo since forever, essentially. They used to say like rush boots, rush boots, rush boots. But a lot of things have changed over the years. For example, let me change it another way. Why would you ever not buy boots? The thing about boots is that you spend 1.1k gold on an item that gives you movement speed and some stats. Problem is, it doesn't help you build your next item. What I have noticed this season in particular for Teemo is that delaying your item spike while other champions don't have to delay their item spike is a really big deal. So what do I mean when I don't buy boots is, for example, in this game against a Ksante, I just went magical footwear. I think a lot of the minor runes got nerfed overall, and in general just the strength of the runes, the strength of items, the meta and everything changed, that right now just going magical footwear is actually, I think, a completely valid approach to the game. Now, what does it mean when you don't buy boots, right? It means that you have low mobility for the first 12 minutes of the game. And that might be a problem in some matchups. But when you're against a Ksante, especially a bad Ksante, like, you probably win the early game anyways. The problem is like on one item, on two items. In this game, going no boots allowed me to get a super early Gnasher Tooth, and because of that I could actually beat the Ksante in the all-ins. Also, besides the fact that you, like, besides the fact that you get the earlier item spike, which is already extremely good, in some cases it's literally just as if you're up 1000 gold, because you're no longer spending it. Magical footwear, it's in German here, but the lower line says it gives you 10 additional movements. If you compare it with other items, for example, boots of swiftness that are used to run a lot, they give you like 15 less movement speed. Like, magical footwear gives you sufficient movement speed. Put like 2 points in W, and then like you're fast enough. There's no point anymore in taking more. Like, of course it would be nice, but you know, you don't spend 1000 gold on something that would be nice. So one of the core reasons why I think magical footwear and in general buying boots is pretty good is because item spikes are so strong nowadays. So Gnasher's components are kind of dog shit, but finishing Gnasher is like the biggest DPS spike that you're gonna have in the game. Void components, like, you have 13% magic penetration, is like whatever, but then as soon as you finish Void Staff, 40% magic pen. If you have Gnashers and Void Staff, you just deal a lot of damage, even if they build MR. Same with Landry, like, they nerfed both this mask and the other item, the 900 gold item. I don't play enough to know the name. They nerfed both of those components, but like Landry itself is still good. So by not buying boots, you get all these items earlier. It allowed me to buy Banshees in one go, which I wouldn't have been able to. And because you get one item earlier, you get the next item earlier and the next item, and you just keep going and going. Now, sometimes, for example, in this game, I tried it again. I still bought boots because it was like, I already had the item spikes that I wanted, Gnasher, Zhonya, Void. And then I just had a bunch of gold that I wasn't sure what to do with, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just finish boots. It's not like boots suddenly became horrible items, it's just you want other items more a lot of the time. You see this example here as well. I went magical boots against a... How much LP is this guy? A lot of LP. Ah, never mind. Knuckle, he's extremely good against a super good Ksante player, and I realized that even though I had magical footwear, I needed swiftness boots. Especially because they had Talia, they had so many skill shots that I needed to dodge, that not finishing boots would be idiotic. But even then, I first finished Nashers and then I bought Boots of Swiftness. I guess I bought them in the same time. But even then, I would first do this and then this. Just getting to this early Nasher spike is super big. So one last thing that I wanted to mention is that every time you change your runes, like, you give something else up. So here, by going Magical Footwear, by the way, I think this rune, the 3 Tonic, is low-key underrated because the skill point that you get at level 9 you can put into W, and it gives you more movement speed that way than other movement speed based setups like Celerity and Nimbus Cloak would give you. So I actually kind of like this over Cosmic Sight. But yeah, the thing is, if you run these runes, you're not running other runes, right? Every time you take something, you give something else up. So in a matchup like Vladimir, you can't give up a Nullifying or Scorch because the matchup is way too spally. You need these runes. Also, I went flat HP because that specific matchup. Yeah, it's super good. And this rune page would have actually allowed me to completely stomp the game, but my jungler fucked up at level 4 and I got snowballed on by Vladimir. That was actually in a completely winning spot. What I'm trying to say is, if you can afford to kind of drop a rune for the first 12 minutes of the game, just like we did when conditioning was broken, we went conditioning overgrowth. So now I think Magical Footwear and Triple Tonic is just good enough to most of the time not run it. Because Fleet, just as a note, because Fleet Footwear got nerfed like 50 million times, and Absorb Life is getting nerfed for like the 4th time in a row, I'm now running PTA and probably Presence of Mind next patch, because these runes are just starting to get worthless. You can still sometimes go Fleet Footwear and go the Rune Setup, but my preferred go-to is playing for Nasher's PTA, just being a strong 1v1 threat. But yeah, if you want to still go the Shroom build, it's okay. It's just a lot weaker than it used to be, but it's still viable. There's like a 500 LP master on trick who plays it, so you can run it too. But to win in very high elo, I think PTA setup might actually be the go-to. Like, I went Fleet Footwork, the Landry first setup against Aatrox. Game was win. So yeah, that's my thoughts. You just get item spikes way earlier. You kind of save just 1000 gold when you truly don't need the items. Sometimes you still need to finish the item, and I just think it's super strong. I hope you enjoyed this little rant. Sorry, I don't have any beat footage to put it on, but this is the newest tech. By the way, shout out to Kerberos LOL. Yeah, he's the one who, like, Magical Footwear has been a thing for a while, but he's the one who gave me the main idea. Real good cook, and I kind of took it away from him. Bye bye YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this insight.